and currently I live in Washington State. I was 21 years old in 1978 when I first heard about nuclear issues at the Cincinnati Food Co-op. And I was, as the book, I think I told Alyssa that, I was the education director there, and so I was bringing in speakers, and the speaker came in to talk about nuclear weapons and nuclear power, and then informed us that there was a demonstration happening at the Rocky Flats site in Colorado where they make plutonium triggers for H-bombs. I wanted to go to that, so I ended up getting my Volkswagen bus with some friends, and we drove out there and participated in that demonstration with Daniel Ellsberg was a speaker there, and a few others. And one of the most valuable things they did at that demonstration was the day after, they had workshops in Denver to say, look, there's a strong connection between nuclear weapons and nuclear power, and here's what it is. And you need to go back to your communities and become organizers. And here's how you do it. Right? Here's how you write a press release. Here's how you start an organization, etc. So I went back on fire and started calling around and ran into this lovely activist named Polly Brokow, David Fankhauser's mom, and she was on fire too. I mean, she's just amazing, amazing person. And I said, so we need to start a movement, here in Cincinnati about Zimmer. She goes, oh yeah, we should do that, and let's do it. I said, so, how should we do this? And should we come up with some bylaws? And she goes, no, let's have a demonstration. Really? We don't have a name. She goes, I'll come up with a name. So that's what we did. And we put out flyers, and this right away it was like on fire. And this was in 1978. And so we held a march out there and a balloon release, and things just really picked up from there. And we started hosting demonstrations. We did all kinds of things. We bought a share of stock and went out to the shareholder meeting. We had a whole bunch of votes behind us, so I got to speak. And they did not like 1 second of that, but I had a lot of fun. We made a solar collector at a demonstration and took it into CG&E, and they didn't know what to do about that. But all of that was, even though we were organizing and speaking out, and by the way, we had a lot of parties as well to make it fun for people to come in, and yeah. But it wasn't really for me. I didn't really see a path forward to actually stopping this facility until this whistleblower named Tom Applegate walked into our office. And we had a small office at United Church of Christ downtown, and the ministry there. And he came in, this guy with a cowboy hat and cowboy boots, and just kind of announced to the meeting, yeah, I broke into your offices last night. We went, what? He goes, yeah, I rifled your files. I was trying to make sure that you weren't part of a CG&E front. Oh. And I was like, damn. Well, he goes, in my car, I've got a bunch of boxes of evidence. So we went out to his car, brought it in, and immediately started looking at this gobs and gobs of amazing evidence. And he was a private detective who, is Tom Devine later called him the Barnum and Bailey of whistleblowers, and which is a pretty apt description. So he definitely had his issues, shall we say, but he was right on about what he documented. And I knew at that point, having worked with Vic Griffin and Ed Hofstadter and a few other folks who were whistleblowers who were blowing the whistle, that we did not know what we were doing. We weren't handling these issues correctly. And so rather than go down that path, we decided we go seek help from Washington, D.C., a law firm. So we got into Susie's Volkswagen.
My Volkswagen?
Yeah, I think. And Tom Applegate, and he sat in the front of the Volkswagen with a fully loaded 9mm handgun on his lap the whole way. And I was like, I kept saying, please turn that gun, away from me, because I'm driving a car. And he goes, but Karen, so good, because that just had happened. And, I said, yeah, we're okay, don't worry about it. But we got to DC, and we went to Critical Mass Energy Project, and we went to NEARS and other places, and we kept being referred to, there's this new group that helps whistleblowers called Government Accountability Project. So we went there too, and that's where I met Tom Devine. And it turned out not to be a very big operation. I think it was 3 or 4 people then, Tom and Louie and Lynn. And Tom, interviewed us, then sent me away so we could interview Tom Applegate as a client. And then approached me with a proposal that they were really, really interested in helping, but they wanted to work with our organization that we had started, a grassroots organization called CARE, which at the time was Citizens Against a Radioactive Environment. And they wanted us to be more strategic, be more tactical as well, and prevailed upon us to change our name to Cincinnati Alliance for Responsible Energy. Told me I had to cut my hair, which was like down to here, and I got arrested at the plant.
You were sued to change the name from Karen. Remember that?
No, I was sued to change the
Well,
name.
the group, because there was already a Karen.
Oh, yeah, we got a letter from, anyway, whatever. So we had to put a little double A in there for a while, and then it went away. But we were off and running, and I came back to Cincinnati and said, we want to work with this Washington, D.C. nonprofit organization, and they're going to help Tom Applegate, but they want to work with us to be organizers, and it just kind of went off from there. And I learned so much then about how to be an activist. It was, and GAP really, I think, helped turn the corner and come up with an actual strategy to work with members of Congress, with the news media, in the hearings that existed, wherever they could funnel evidence into. They took, sworn statements, and they had us running around like crazy, talking to everyone we could talk to. And they sent in Kit Wood to help us organize, and Tom Devine, visited very, very frequently. We lived in a group house in Clifton, which he complained bitterly about all the time because it was a wreck. But we got by, we got through, and over several years, more and more and more whistleblowers came forward. And the way that GAP was able to translate all that evidence into hearings in Congress, into newspaper stories, working with people like Ben Coffin back there, and Gannett News Service, it made it a national issue. At one point, I counted the number of times Zimmer was in a headline in the Cincinnati Enquirer, and it was like 267 days out of 365, right? So it was hot stuff. And of course, there were already a lot of activists doing things out there, and so everyone was all a big part of this. And I think in the end, with all that organizing work, it really kind of, in 3 Mile Island, kind of toppled the whole enterprise. To stop a facility it was unheard of. 99% complete, $2 billion invested, etc. So from there, I went to law school. Went to Antioch Law School in Washington, D.C., got a law degree, and immediately started helping whistleblowers at Fernald, at Hanford, at Rocky Flats, at Pantex, Los Alamos, Lawrence Livermore, Savannah River, in Russia, and then at Hanford, and then a whole bunch of nuclear sites. So that was my career, helping whistleblowers, and eventually focusing on the Hanford nuclear site, where I started an organization called Hanford Challenge, which was, Hanford's a big mess and I won't start because I'll never shut up. But anyway, that was my role in it, and very honored to work with all of you. And on this very successful project, and very thankful to Alyssa for writing this book up, because I was sitting there going, I gotta write some of this stuff up. And they said, oh, here's a book, and then Casey back there wrote a book about Fernald. And if you haven't seen it or heard of it, you should go get a copy of that. It's cleaning up the bomb factories.
Yes.
So, and when did that come out, Casey?
It came out last year with the University of Washington Press.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, fascinating, and I'm glad this history is getting documented. And I'm also married to Marina King back there, and very, very honored to have her at my side, this whole time as well. And thank you, Marina. And I'll stop here.